Okay, it's time to work on problem set I, which uses Neo4j. So let's take a look at this baby, huh? So first and foremost, we need to create the north wind graph in Neo4j. So let's do that. And then let's go over here. So I need to do play north wind. And here's the graph. And a tip I got from a student is if you pin this, it'll stay up at the top, and then I can click in here and it puts the code in there and I can run it. And I can click in here and puts the code in there and I can run it. It clicks in here and I can put the code in there and I can run it. And then I can go do the relationships as well. And that should create what we want. Let's see here, refresh. And let's take a look at what we got here. 114 nodes, and we got relationships in here. Okay. So that's the first part. And then it says, as proof you completed correctly, write a cipher query to query all products, suppliers, and categories using both relationships. Your screenshot should include your cipher code plus the graph output. If you correctly do this, there should be 8 categories, 77 products, and 29 supplier nodes. Okay, so let's try this out. So we're going to do a match, and we're going to, let's start with category. Okay, and a category has a relationship with a product. I don't remember what that relationship is. And then the product has a relationship with the supplier. Now I just got to figure out what the relationships are. So I guess one way to do that is to go ahead and look at the original. So product is part of a category and a supplier supplies a product. Okay. Product is part of a category. A category supplies a product. So a product is part of a category, and a supplier supplies a product. I guess if you're wrong, you can always just put them the other way. Supplier supplies product, product part of category. There, got that right. Oh, there we go. What a nice graph. Product, supplier, category. Okay. Cool. Okay, that looks pretty good for the first answer. Number 2, select a supplier contact name of your choosing. Write a cipher query to display the supplier name, the supplier's company name, the name of the products they supply, and the unit price for those products for only products that are not discontinued. Display this information in a table. Okay. Right, so here goes this. How about we match some supplier that supplies a product okay. Now it says pick a supplier of your choosing, or pick a product you're choosing. I don't remember because my mind's like a sieve. So select a supplier contact name if you're choosing. Okay. Supplier contact name. Martin Bine. See it right there? Martin Bine. Pick that supplier of my choosing. Supplier contact name. Good old Marty Bine. Okay. Let's just do that for now. Okay, there we go. These are the products that supplier supplies. Now what do I need to do? Said something about a table. Write a separate query to display the supplier name, supplier's company name, names of the products they supply, and unit price. Only not discontinued can do that. Where P discontinued, false. And I want to return the supplier contact name. Company name. Product name. Unit price. And let's just put in discontinued so that we see it that it's working. All right, what are you complaining about? There's no unit price property key in the database. Okay, let's see what happens here. So the unit price isn't there. I spelled it wrong. Probably like that. There we go. So these are not discontinued. Unit price, product name, company name, contact name. Boom, done. Number 2 in the can. All right. Let's do number 3. Select 2 products of your choosing. Write a cipher query to display a graph of the supplier and category for those products. Based on the graph displayed as output, are the 2 products you selected in the same category? There's a couple ways we can do this one. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go back to my regular graph thingy, right, which is this one here. Except I'm going to write it a little differently. I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to say match supplier who supplies some product which is a part of some category. I want to make sure that I'm going to pick 2 products, right? Okay, so where the P product, no, the P dot product name is equal to, I got to pick 2 products here. I pick this product here, Alice Mutton, because who doesn't like mutton? Or the P product name is going to be Perth Pasties. Perth Pasties. And now I'm going to return the graph. So I need to return return SPC. Okay, so there you go. We have Perth Pasties. That's made by Mate. And then this, I gotta change this around. Let's make it use company name here. So G'day. And Pavlova supplies Alice Mutton. G'day supplies Perth Pastries, and Perth Pastries and Alice Mutton are both in the meat produce category. There you go. Boom shakalaka. That's the answer to number 3. And yes, these two products are in the same category, and I chose them to be that way. I can actually make the products a little bigger. It's kind of cool than the categories, than the suppliers, so that they stand out. Kind of fun to play around with the graph a little bit. Okay, there's number 3 in the can. Let's see what other perverse things your professor made you do. All right, number 4. You just sold 30 units of Laughing Lumberjack Lager. Update the node to reflect the proper stock and display the output. Okay. Can do. I got a can do attitude. Watch this one. First of all, before you update anything, you should probably just see the output. So how about this? Match some P product. Oh boy. Where the P product name is Laughing Lumberjack Lager? Was that what that said? Laughing Lumberjack Lager. And then let's return P dot product name and P dot units in stock. Okay, so there's 52 units in stock right now of Laughing Lumberjack Lager, and we just sold 30. So if I was going to sell 30, it would be set P dot units in stock to P dot units in stock minus 30, right? Now there's 22 units in stock. Ta-da! Boom shakalaka. All right, that's number 4 in the can. What's number 5 have in store? Let's check it out. Load a Spark data frame of USA country suppliers and their products for products that are not discontinued. Include a supplier company and contact names, country, and phone. From products, include product name, discontinued, unit price, and units in stock. And do this in Spark. Okay, so I'm going to copy this because, man, I'm probably not going to get that right in Spark. Let's go out here. Jupyter Lab, new notebook. And I need to go get the Spark stuff. First of all, I'm going to put the comments in here. Because I'm never going to remember that. And I'll make that a markdown cell. There. And let's go get the Spark header for graph. Let's go get this baby here. Now, one thing to note about using this with Spark is there's no storage plugin here. You see this? Right? We're not including any storage plugin. Why is that? Because Maven Central does not have a version of Neo4j published. So what you have to do instead is you have to copy the jar manually from this folder into the Spark folder. So this is the old school way of doing it before Maven. You would just physically put the jars in the Spark home, and this is the Spark home folder. User local Spark jars is the Spark home folder. So it even says so in the note. No, at the time of the integration, you did not have a Maven repository, so you must do it manually. So you got to put this in here, and this just copies it via the command line. Okay, then you can run this, and then it should register the jar. All right, now we could try to do this. Load a Spark data frame. So first of all, I'm going to make a cipher query, and that's going to be match some supplier. Doing it this way, you can certainly write the query over here, and this way, you know, at least you know it works, right? And you get IntelliSense, which is always nice. What the hell else did I ask for here? Not discontinued country USA. Return what? Company and contact names, country and phone. Product name, discontinued. Oh boy, that's a lot. I can remember all that. Return S. company name, S. contact name, S. country, P. product name, discontinued, unit price, and units in stock. Hmm. There we go. Let's see if that works. That wasn't good. I didn't get anything. All right, well, let's take my where out and see if I get something this way. Got to debug this query here. All right. I have some discontinued here, right? USA, discontinued false. So it's a thing. Let's just progressively add my filters in here till it works. Oh, it's not. Oh, I already see it. It's not P country, it's S country. This is what happens when you have no schema. It doesn't really care if you do it wrong. It just gives you nothing. Very hard to debug. Okay, there we go. This query works. So I'm going to take this query now and go back over to Sparky McSpark. Put it right there. And then I can do my, let's call it DF. I guess we can call it, yeah, that's fine. DF is fine. Spark, read, format, org, neo, for J. I'm not going to remember this. I'm going to just go look at an example. There it is. There we go. Okay. And then we need to pass in our option under the key URL. And that's going to be our bolt URL, which is right here. And then another option under the key query. And this should be my CQ, my cipher query. And then I could just load that into a data frame. It's grinding. Now it's done. DF print schema. Okay. Got some doubles, longs, strings, booleans. Yeah, we got a whole Lucky Charms worth of data types. DF dot 2 pandas. Make it look nice. There we go. Boom. There's our output. What was that, number 5? Number 5 is done. All right. What is next? What other crazy things am I having you do? Load the datasets FudgeMart employees JSON into a Spark data frame. Make sure to create a column employee name which combines first and last names together. All right. I'll do that. This has nothing to do with Neo4j. Call this emps spark read JSON file. Don't need load because, again, I'm not using a format. Path does not exist. You stink. Oh, yeah, it's got to be home, Jovian. I don't remember full path here. Oh, yeah, got the old corrupt record thing because I got to do option multi-line true. It's the little things that get you every time. There we go. Maybe I should 2 pandas this so it looks nicer. There we go. Perfect. Now I want to take this baby and engineer a column called employee name, which is first name and last name. So how's this sound? Select. I wonder if I could do this. It never seems to I never seem to be amazed by the things you can do in Spark, or the things you can't do in Spark in this case, I guess. Did I do something wrong? Employee first name. Employee last name. What if I can get like, I'm gonna hold on a second. I'm not giving up on this approach yet. I'm gonna back tick this. Nope. Now I'm giving up on this approach. So here's how you got to do it. Here's one way to do it. You could do from PySpark SQL functions, and you can import col, concat, and lit. And then you can say, why don't you just select me, concat these. I want you to concat the column. I don't even need col. I guess I could just do it this way. Emps dot employee first name, and then literally a space, and then emps employee last name, and use just object notation. That closes my concat. That closes my select. There we go. There's my names, and I probably want to alias this. Dot alias. Employee full name. Name is fine. Nice alias. Now let's include that. So once we do this, how about we with column, with a column called employee name. And what's that column made up of? Well, it's made up of this. Okay, now here's where this falls apart. I don't know anything about emps yet. So I can't use this notation. I gotta use the col function. If I'm gonna do it this way, I gotta use the col function. Because it doesn't know anything about emps. Where's emps? Emps over here. If this part of this side of the assignment statement doesn't know anything about emps, can't use it. We need a dot somewhere. How about right here? And let's back this baby up to one line. All right, I'm missing something somewhere. With column employee name concat col. Oh boy. Still missing probably another parenthesis somewhere. Yep. There we go. I got to put these in quotes. Sometimes I wonder if I should just read my code before I try to run it. In the good old days when Mike was, when it was very hard to get access to a computer, yeah, I would make sure my code worked perfectly. But I guess now I can just wing it on a YouTube video and just type whatever I want. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. There's the full name at the end. Boy name. All right. What other things can I torture us with? What's next? Number 7. In Spark, load the employees into Neo4j under the label employee and include employee name, employee department, employee ID, and employee job title. Okay. Department, ID, job title, name. Okay, I want to put this stuff in Neo4j. Okay, here we go. So how about I take exactly that? Let's call this temp. Then let's do temp right format. Here we go. Let's go back here and look at an example. Right format. Yeah, this looks good. And then I got to come up with a cipher query here, CQL. And my cipher query is going to look like this. I'm going to say merge. And let's just take some employee. And let's make their name. Make their name the event dot employee name. Remember, event is each row. So event, then the next time, event, and the next time, event. Okay. So event employee name, department, event department. Going to be employee department. Job title. Let's go for ID here. Remember how to set an ID? Is it like this? Try that. Okay. Merge those. That's good enough. Run it. Illegal argument exception. Please provide a valid right query. Temp right format. Do I need, is it the mode that it's maybe it doesn't like the mode. Cable provider implementation cannot be written with, okay, it must be overwrite. So it wasn't that. I bet you it doesn't like this ID. Let me just put it like this. And there it goes, yeah. Done already. Let's see if it worked. So let's go back here. Match emps return e. They are. So, it didn't do the ID right, but that's all right because I can't reuse these IDs. I mean, I want the system to generate the ID. Pretty cool. Okay. Moving on. Number 8. It's the last one? I thought there was one more in here. About building an org chart. Oh, looks like that one got messed up. In Spark, add a supervisor's relationship to the nodes. Basically, you must match two nodes where one of the ID is the employee ID and the other ID is the supervisor ID. Then merge the relationship. This should be 9 here. Somehow we lost the number 9 there. Okay, so let's do this one first. So the first step in this is you need to just get the list of IDs in a tabular format, like so. Something like this. Emps, select, employee ID, employee name, just so I know who they are. I don't even need employee name. Supervisor ID. Let's just show that. All right, it blew something up. Can it resolve supervisor ID? Okay, so I probably want this one here, employee supervisor ID. All right, I don't need to show the names, but what this is telling you is that employee 5 supervises employee 1. So I guess if I was going to write this the proper way so you could make sense of it, it would look something like this. I'm not even going to use the name anymore because the name just confuses you, right? So look at this grid here, and let me just order it. Order by employee supervisor. Right? So nobody supervises employee ID 33. And then employee ID 5 supervises number 2. Employee number 5 also supervises number 1. Employee number 5 supervises number 14. Employee number 5 and supervises number 21. So this is what I need to build the relationship graph, right? I can use this to do that. So I'm going to put this in temp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my query right now. Now remember, I have event dot employee supervisor ID and event dot employee ID. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to match every employee. And also going to match every other employee again, but I'm going to use S this time. Then I'm going to say, hey, where the E dot ID, where the EID is the event employee ID, and the S dot ID. Remember, these nodes, employee, they don't know anything about this supervisor ID. It's just something that, this is a relational concern. This over here, this column here is a relational concern. In the graph world, we don't need these values stored in the nodes here. We don't need supervisor ID 5 here. We don't need that because that's what the relationship is. So in the employee, we're storing a relationship to another employee. All right. So what I'm going to say is in the node E, the ID there, that's going to be the employee ID. And the node S, the ID there, is going to be their supervisor ID. And then when I do that, it's going to give me two nodes. Like, let me just pick one down here. When it matches here, it's going to give me EID 10, and E is going to be 10, and S is going to be 6. So E is going to be 10. Is there a 10 in here? 10. And S is going to be 6. Good luck finding that, Mike. Let's just assume that's 6, right? So E is 10. S is 6. It's going to make an arrow from S to E, right? Because supervisor, employee, from S to E. So when you do that match, let's merge S supervises E. And that should do it. Now I just got to execute the GraphQL or the graph CipherQL. So I got to do this again. Take that temp, write, overwrite, bolt URL, option, run this query for each row. Grinding, 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 grinding. Done. Go back here. Let's see. Do you have any relationships? Maybe rerun this. Oh, something didn't work right. Oh, interesting. Who's this ghosty phantom? Oh, it made a new node. That is totally not what I wanted to happen there. Oh, you know why? I probably got something in there that's got a null in it. I probably did something knuckleheaded with null. Let's double check this. Oh, I see exactly what I did. It's a capital E, which doesn't match anything. It's got to be a little e. Jeez. All right. That explains it. There we go. Of course, now I got all these extra ones in here that don't match anything. But this one works okay. See that? Sarah Doctor in the house supervises. Let me see who else Sarah supervises. Sarah supervises all these people. And then I've got these null nodes here, which these are just knuckleheaded. I don't know how to get rid of those. I really don't. You have to get rid of them by ID. Yikes. Pretty much got to nuke the whole database and start over again. This is kind of the problem with Graph at times. I mean, I can nuke them by ID, but that's going to take a while. So anyway, let's keep going here. Yeah, see, look, forming a nice network. All right, so yeah, I think I did it right. Yeah, I certainly did. Tuck and Roll supervises Leave Me Home. Leave Me Home supervises Sandy Shores and Artichoke. Isabel Gunnering supervises, Tuck and Roll supervises Isabel Gunnering, and she supervises all these people here. Oh, yeah, so it seems to be working. All right. Now let's build a org chart. So that would look something like this. Match some employee where their job title is CEO. That gets me, right? My job title is CEO. And start there. And then let's find all the people that get supervised, that are supervisors, and recurse that 1 to 3 times to some other employee. And then why don't you return the whole graph? There you go. Well, it's not really an org chart, but if you squint just right, I think you can see. Where's Mike Fudge in here? There I am. Pull me out over here. And it's more like an org tree, but you got me, and then you got Tuck, and then out of Tuck you get Mary, Otto, Isabel, Tally, and Sarah, and Lee. So this guy's got quite a few direct reports. I only have one direct report. And there you have it, right? So this is really cool. This feature here lets you drive down the relationship several times deep. And this is useful when nodes relate to themselves. And I only wish there was a way to label these individual nodes differently. There just isn't. Yeah, I can goof around with this. Line width, right? You can change those around, but it's all for that one level. It doesn't do multi-level. I wish I could like change the width based on additional levels, but it just doesn't do that. Okay. Let's just see where I'm at. I think I'm done. Yeah. Okay. That's it. I feel like there should be more here, but I guess not. Okay. We're good for now. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.